Welcome back to another tremendous installment of, I think they're saying this, right? The greatest reading show for children ever by anybody. Reading Rainbow, not a good show, and Michelle Obama's thing that she's doing reading to kids, I don't even know what day of the week it is, Mondays, is like so weak and the ratings are so low for it that I almost feel bad for her. But we're doing very strongly, very great work. Excellent work, in fact. People are saying to me they never knew that like a reading program for kids could be this good. They're like, "Sir, my kids didn't like to read, sir, and now because of your reading program, sir, they're reading so much, sir." And I love the sir, it's so nice. So this week I wore the red MAGA hat because we've had some rough luck with the books, so I was a little angry, a little on the MAGA period, as some people say. You'll learn what that is when you're older, kids. But we've got a strong book this week, one that I hope you all like. It's by Dr. Seuss, who failed us once before, but it's called The Lorax, okay? The Lorax. It's about a little orange guy. He's feisty, and I kind of like that. So we're going to read some of this great book, and we'll see what happens. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows and no birds ever sing excepting old crows in the street of the lifted Lorax. It's the Lorax, that's the guy. Deep in the grickle grass, some people say if you look deep enough you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. Lifted him right up and took him away. That's what they do to the Lorax, apparently, in this book. Great book. What was the Lorax? Well, that's what we're all wondering, I think, right? What? The Lorax, who's that? We've got to find out. Read ahead. And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? And from a far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old once-ler still lived here. Ask him, he knows. He knows, you gotta ask him. You won't see the once-ler, don't knock at his door, he stays in his lurkum, on top of his store, he lurks in the lurkum. I like that, lurks in the lurkum, makes sense. Gold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffered moof. I love the muff. Kids, find out from your parents what that is, but it's a good thing. Dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. Well, we like this guy. This guy is a strong negotiator. His name is the Lurkum. He lurks. He's the Lurkin Lurkum. That's what we call him. And he wants you to pay. So I like that. On the end of the rope, he lets down a tin pail and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes the most... Okay, this is very not good. Okay, fool me once, Dr. Seuss, now I'm certain that you're not a real doctor. And so then we basically get to this like LGBTQ paradise, okay? Pence would be frolicking here, a lot of colors, if you know what I mean. So you got like, I don't know what this says. Grass was green, okay, so industry was obviously not thriving at this point. You see all the animals? I'm not even going to read the book, it's too many words. The animals and all the colors, it's like, industry is obviously struggling, so we're feeling bad. I want to find out who this Lorax is, and then we're getting through. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. Can that cure COVID? Can we get some of this butterfly milk? You know, maybe you take the butterfly milk from the butterflies, you squeeze out their buttermilk and put it in the, maybe in a needle, and we don't like needles, but maybe inject some of this butterfly milk and maybe cure the COVID. So hopefully industry gets involved and, you know, maybe they make some things happen and we'll see. So they're talking about these trees and then we see the Lorax. Sort of a Bernie Sanders type character, kind of a little short guy, feisty. He was shortish and oldish and brownish, okay, person of color I think they call it. He was a black maybe. They made him orange, but it sounds like he was brownish, so he was either a black or a Mexican, so let's hope he doesn't win at the end. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees, I speak for the trees have no tongue, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs, what's the thing you made out of the truffle a tuft? And the Lorax said, sir, you are crazy with greed, there is no one on earth who would buy that fool Thneed. So he's against industry, he's a nasty person, kind of a Bernie Sanders, but instead of talking about the environment, this guy's terrible. So we're gonna skip ahead, and it's now we're talking. Now I see Thneeds opens a factory, kids. Now we're talking. Now maybe this book turns around. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffed. He snargled. He sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a crufulous croak. Is that a word? I'm going to start using crufulous. I like that word. Onceler, you're making such a smogulous smoke. My poor swomy swans, why they can't sing a note. Well, they should have bought property elsewhere if the swans wanted to sing. Now we have all these dead swans leaving, which is a good thing because its industry is thriving. It's called jobs. They're creating great jobs, and the Lorax seems to be standing completely in the way of this. I don't want to read all these sort of words. And he goes into the factory, and you see the fish. They're smart. They're leaving the dirty water. You wouldn't want to stay in the dirty. I agree. The fish seem to know more than the Lorax, who's just standing here. And okay, they get mad, and then there we go. And then so it does have a happy ending. I know this is a long episode, but sometimes you have to read books that have like tremendous happy endings instead of all the sad ones. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. An axe, axes really, you swing one of those axes, it's stuff. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. So we've done it, everybody. The Lorax, it has a happy ending. All the trees are gone. It's a beautiful thing. Now we can have great jobs, great prosperity, great economic health. Maybe that's what we need to do to cure the coronavirus. We get some of the buttermilk, the butterfly milk, with like chopping down trees, and that might be, I think, Dr. Seuss, I judged you, and I should have gotten to the end of the book because it seems that you're doing tremendous work here. Better than Fauci, I can tell you that. No more trees. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, and gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. No trace. So I think that's all we have to read from this. This is an A+ book. This is going to be, how Oprah has her book club, okay, like a, whatever book club she does. First book for the Trump book club, the Lorax, okay? Strong book, very pro-industry, great economy, great lessons, maybe a cure for the COVID as well. So Trump endorses a full endorsement. We're going to tweet about it later. The Lorax, great book. So get a copy. I'll sign it. If you send it to me, I'll sign the page where the last tree falls because it's a beautiful thing, and we've got to come back stronger than ever. And the Lorax, Dr. Seuss, I thought he was a weak doctor like Fauci and Birx. Turns out he's a very strong doctor, more like a Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil, so we like that. So we'll be back next week with a great book.